Before you do one more thing today, let's stop, because what you're about to hear in the next few minutes has the power to completely rewire the way you think, the way you act, and the trajectory of your entire life. Not next year, not after you get ready, right now. Here is the truth that the most successful people on this planet figured out while everyone else was still waiting to feel motivated. Discipline is not a personality trait. It is not something you are born with. It is a decision, a daily, relentless, non-negotiable decision. And the moment you truly understand that, everything changes. 92% of people who set goals never reach them. Not because they lack vision, not because they lack desire, because they never built the one thing that turns a dream into a reality: discipline. Stay with me through this, because by the end you will understand exactly why motivation has been lying to you your entire life, why comfort is the most expensive thing you will ever own, and how one shift in your daily standard can compound into a transformation so complete that the people closest to you will not recognize who you've become. This is not inspiration. Inspiration fades. This is a blueprint. This is the operating system of every person who ever built something extraordinary from nothing, and it starts with a single, non-negotiable truth. Discipline will change your life. Motivation gets you started. Discipline keeps you going when motivation dies. Write that down, tattoo it on the inside of your skull. Because here's what nobody tells you when you're fired up at the beginning. When the playlist is loud, the goal is fresh, and you feel like you could run through walls, motivation has an expiration date. It always does. It shows up like a house guest who's exciting for 3 days and disappears by Thursday. And when it leaves, it doesn't warn you. It doesn't pack its bags slowly. One morning you wake up, the alarm goes off, and that fire that had you unstoppable 2 weeks ago, gone, cold. And in that moment, that exact moment, your entire life pivots on one question. Do you move anyway, or do you wait for the feeling to come back? Most people wait. They sit in the gap between who they are and who they want to be, refreshing their motivation like it's an inbox, wondering why nothing's arriving. They say, I'll get back on track Monday. They say, I just need to find my why again. But champions, the ones who actually build the life they talk about, they don't negotiate with that silence. They trained for it. They expected it. Discipline is not the absence of struggle. It is the decision to move through the struggle without needing permission from your emotions first. And here is where it gets brutally honest. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your daily standards. Read that again slowly. You do not get what you wish for. You do not get what you want. You get what you consistently do, what you repeatedly tolerate, repeatedly accept, repeatedly allow in your own life. Your goals are just words on paper until your standards, your non-negotiables, your daily floor of behavior match them. Think about it. You can set the most powerful goal in the world. Lose 30 pounds, build the business, save the money, transform the relationship. But if your daily standard says, I sleep in when I don't feel like it, I skip when it's hard, I eat badly when I'm stressed, the goal never had a chance. The goal was a wish. The standard is the reality. The standard is who you actually are when nobody's watching, when no one's cheering, when the results aren't showing yet, and the voice inside says it isn't working. What do you do then? That answer is your standard. And your standard, right now today, is either pulling you toward the life you want or quietly dragging you away from it. There is no neutral. There is no standing still. Every single day your habits are either compounding in your favor or compounding against you. And the difference between people who transform their lives and people who stay stuck is not talent, not timing, not resources. It is the relentless, unglamorous, unsexy commitment to holding a higher standard, especially on the days it costs them something. Every time you do what you said you'd do, you become someone who can be trusted by yourself. That sentence carries more weight than most people are ready to handle. We talk about trust like it only lives between people, between partners, between colleagues, between friends. But the most critical trust relationship you will ever have is the one you build or destroy with yourself silently through every small promise you keep or break when no one is watching. Think about what happens in your nervous system when you say, I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. and then you don't. Or I'm starting Monday and Monday becomes a ghost. Or this is the last time and it isn't. Each broken promise is a tiny withdrawal from your self-trust account. One doesn't bankrupt you, but 100 of them, 1,000 of them stacked over months and years, and suddenly you can't believe your own voice anymore. You set a goal, and somewhere underneath the excitement, a quiet part of you whispers, we've been here before. That whisper is not weakness. That whisper is your own track record talking back to you. And the only way to silence it is not with a bigger goal, not with a louder affirmation, not with a more inspiring vision board. It is with a kept promise, one, then another. Then another. You rebuild self-trust the same way you destroyed it, one small decision at a time. The size of the promise doesn't matter at first. Wake up when you said you would. Finish what you started. Show up to the thing you committed to even when it's inconvenient. These acts feel small. They are not small. They are the architecture of a person who trusts themselves completely. And a person who trusts themselves completely is unstoppable because they know that whatever they commit to, they will see through. That is not arrogance. That is earned confidence, and it is built in the quiet, in the private moments, in the choices nobody applauds. Comfort is the enemy wearing a friendly face. And that is precisely what makes it so dangerous. Fear you can see coming. Failure is loud. Doubt announces itself. But comfort pulls up a chair, pours you something warm, and tells you that you've earned a break. And it's never entirely wrong, which is exactly why it's so lethal. It's not lying to you. You have worked hard. You do deserve rest. But comfort doesn't know when to leave. It stretches the break into a week, the week into a month, the month into a version of your life you never chose, but somehow ended up living. And the cruelest part is that comfort doesn't feel like surrender. It feels like contentment. It looks like stability. It disguises stagnation as peace. The people who never became who they were capable of becoming didn't fail dramatically. They got comfortable quietly. They traded the discomfort of growth for the familiarity of routine, and one day looked up and realized the distance between where they were and where they dreamed of being had become a canyon. Discipline is the force that refuses comfort's invitation to settle. It doesn't reject rest. It rejects the slow death of playing it safe when you were built for so much more. The discipline you avoid today becomes the regret you carry tomorrow. Not maybe, not sometimes, always. This is not a motivational metaphor. Thyness, it is a law, as reliable as gravity, as indifferent as mathematics. Every moment you choose avoidance, you are not escaping the work. You are simply deferring the cost. And interest compounds. The pain of doing the thing today is sharp and brief. It asks something of you right now in this moment, and then it releases you. But the pain of not doing it, that one grows. It doesn't stay the size it was the day you avoided it. It expands quietly in the background while you're busy being comfortable, stretching itself across weeks and months and years until one day it isn't a small sting anymore. It is the weight of a life unlived pressing down on your chest. People think regret is something that visits you at the end. It doesn't wait that long. Regret starts arriving in the middle of the career you settled for, in the middle of the body you stopped fighting for, in the middle of the relationship you stopped investing in. It shows up while you're still here, still breathing, still technically able to change, and that is what makes it unbearable. Not that it's too late, but that it isn't, and you know it, and you're still not moving. The discipline you avoid is never just a skipped workout or a delayed call or a postponed hard conversation. It is a vote against the future version of you that deserved better from who you are right now. You don't need more time. You need fewer excuses and sharper priorities. Because time is the one resource every person on this planet receives in equal measure. And yet the gap between what people do with it is staggering. The person building the life you want is not working with a longer day. They are working with a clearer decision about what matters and the discipline to protect that decision from everything that doesn't. Excuses are not lies exactly. They are true things used dishonestly. Yes, you are busy. Yes, it is hard. Yes, the timing isn't perfect. All of that can be completely accurate and completely irrelevant at the same time because busy is not the problem. Everyone is busy. Unfocused is the problem. Undisciplined is the problem. Saying yes to everything that feels urgent while the thing that is actually important sits waiting. That is the problem. Sharpen your priorities until they cut and watch how quickly the excuses lose their power. The version of you that quit and the version that didn't, separated by one decision, one moment, one fork in the road that felt insignificant while you were standing in it. That's what nobody tells you about the turning points in a life. They rarely announce themselves as turning points. They arrive disguised as ordinary hard days, as unremarkable Tuesdays, as moments where quitting and continuing feel almost equally reasonable. And in that silence, that gray zone where both doors look the same, the person you become is decided, not by talent, not by circumstance, by a single choice to stay. Feelings are passengers. Discipline is the driver. Stop letting passengers steer, because the moment you hand the wheel to how you feel, you have surrendered your destination to something that changes by the hour. Feelings are real, but they are not reliable navigators. They will route you toward comfort every single time, away from the hard thing, away from the necessary thing, away from the version of your life that requires something from you today. The driver doesn't consult the passengers before moving forward. The driver has a destination, a commitment, and the discipline to keep going regardless of the noise from the back seat. Small acts of discipline, repeated daily, make extraordinary people look ordinary. That is the illusion that discourages millions. You watch someone operating at the highest level, and it looks effortless, natural, almost like they were born into it. But what you are seeing is not talent on display. You are seeing the compounded result of 1,000 unglamorous repetitions that happened before you arrived. The early mornings nobody photographed, the reps done in empty rooms, the quiet refusals to quit on days when quitting would have been completely understandable. Extraordinary is not a gift. It is a daily practice made invisible by time. Nobody is coming to save you. The alarm clock, the blank page, the empty gym, that's the door. Walk through it. Stop waiting for the right mentor, the perfect moment, the external signal that finally gives you permission to become who you already know you need to be. That signal is not coming from outside. It never was. The door has always been there. Ordinary, unglamorous, requiring nothing from you except the decision to move. Every morning that alarm fires is life handing you the same invitation it handed yesterday. The only question is whether today you finally answer it. You have everything you need. You always did. The problem was never your circumstances, never your resources, never the hand life dealt you. The problem was the standard you were willing to accept. And today that changes. Because now you know. You cannot unknow this. Discipline is not the hard path. Discipline is the only path, the one that leads somewhere worth going, the one that looks you in the mirror at the end of your life and says you did not waste what you were given. So make the decision. Not tomorrow, not after this video. Right now in this moment, decide that you are the kind of person who shows up, who keeps promises to themselves, who chooses the discomfort of growth over the slow suffocation of comfort. That decision, made today and honored daily, will compound into a life that most people only dream about, because most people never make it. Thank you for spending this time with Alpha Motivation World. That means everything. If something in this video hit you, if one sentence stopped you and made you think, drop it in the comments below. Your breakthrough might be exactly what someone else needs to read today. If this message moved you, hit like, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe, because we are just getting started. Next, we are going deep on the one mindset shift that separates people who consistently win from people who consistently almost win. You don't want to miss it.